Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is part 2 of the audio install, where I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the install of the 8-inch hideaway sub and the Kicker CS series 4-inch for the dash and roll bar, and 6 3/4 inch for the kick panels. Last video I didn't talk very much about the wiring. I actually said I wasn't going to talk very much about the wiring of the Kicker amplified subwoofer, but I did want to just point out how I ran the wires. So this has a left and right, positive and negative input that you connect to your factory speakers. The power cable is run here, it's the red cable, and I basically just ran it under this carpet, out the driver's side over here, and then down through here through this wire chase, and then through the firewall. The left and right input, I used a posi tap. As you can see here, if you're familiar with those, they are very easy to use, and just tied them into the wiring harnesses that I bought for the installation of the new speakers. This is the passenger side, so same thing. My right inputs just use the posi tap and splice them into the positive and negative speakers on the wiring harness. And this is the panel with the subwoofer installed. There's lights directly shining on this grill that I installed here, so you can still see the Kicker logo. I might actually take that off and black it out so you can't see in there. But when the light's not directly on it, it's not noticeable. So it fits. The the grill, I ended up using Velcro because there is a little bit of a lip behind that, so gluing it would be difficult, and that is it's a metal, it's like an expanded metal or a metal grill, so glue wasn't an option, so I just got some industrial strength Velcro, and works like a charm, will not come off. So as you can see, all the grills are back on, everything's back together. All of the Kicker speakers fit like a glove. The dash speakers did require adapters, ordered all of that from Crutchfield. If you watched the first video, then you know that I was really interested in finding a place for that amplified subwoofer from Kicker. Found it right there. If you're more interested in that, then watch the first video. But I didn't want to take up a lot of cargo space, and I wanted it to look factory, and I didn't want anybody looking in here and getting any bright ideas. The top's off on this thing a lot, so that was important to me. All right guys, so everything's installed. There's a couple things I did want to mention. One, I did buy a wiring harness from a website called plugandplaykits.com. It helped with the installation of the amp. It was just that, plug and play. Instead of having to go through the wires in the back of the radio and figure all that stuff out, it saved me a tremendous amount of time and a tremendous amount of headache, I'm sure. I know I didn't go into detail with the amp. Reason being is there's a gentleman who made a video that installs the Kicker Key 200x4 amp in a Ford Bronco, and I followed that to the T. He does a very good job of explaining that and showing that process, so I'm just going to add that link in my description. Also, I'm going to add another link in the description of a gentleman who is, I think he's a professional audio installer, and he kind of talks a little bit about the nuances of taking some of the panels off and some of the speaker grills and such, so that was very helpful to me. So like I said, I'll link that. One other thing too is I wanted to mention is that initially when I installed this, it didn't sound very good, and I was getting a lot of distortion from my dash speakers. Reason being is the signal that Ford designs around the audio system in here adds some lows and mids, I'm sure, to the 4-inch dash speakers. and when you amplify that, well, it distorts the shit out of it, frankly. So what I did was I added 600 hertz bass blockers, and essentially just turned those into tweeters. And with that combined with the mids and with the mids and the kick panels and then the lows from the subwoofer, spot on. Sounds excellent. So that is a must. Very cheap. And then also I wanted to address. I know that a concern of mine, and I'm sure some of yours, is going to be rattling, right? So you basically have this subwoofer sitting next to metal, and then on the other side of that is this plastic piece. So what I did was I installed Dynaliner on the actual metal fender well, and then on the back side of the plastic panel I also installed it. Virtually no rattling. It's sealed tight. It sounds really good. And I know that Ford puts their factory subwoofer back there, so I'm not sure if that's designed a certain way to eliminate rattling or what they do exactly, or if it's the Dynaliner that helps. But that's another product that I would add. And then I guess the final question is, how does it sound? Well, it's a million times improvement. It sounds excellent to me. I'm not interested in rattling the guy at the red light next to me. I don't want to vibrate his mirrors. Like, that's not my MO. I wanted this to sound good to me inside the car, and it accomplishes that tenfold. And I didn't spend very much money on it. It was less than $1,000. I can't remember exactly. I want to say like $750, maybe even not even that much. And I wanted to do it myself. I didn't want to have to go to an audio specialist, and I feel like this setup is just very easy. Virtually anyone can do it on their own with the help of YouTube and websites like Crutchfield that give you that can make sure you're getting the right install components and stuff. So you save yourself some money on that end. So I think for most people this is a very good audio upgrade. I highly recommend it. Super happy. And I love this car. I absolutely love this Bronco. And one of the most disappointing things for me was the audio, like most of us, and I'm sure that's why you're watching this. And it just makes driving this thing 10 times better. So highly recommend, like I said. But one other thing I want to mention too is that I'm kind of new to this YouTube gig, and I know that I can come across as a bit disorganized, or at least I feel that way. So if I forgot anything or you have any questions, just hit me up in comments. I'll be more than happy to reply and help you out the best I can. And if this video is helpful to you, or you're interested in following the progress of this Bronco, because I have some big plans and some big things in store for this thing that'll be coming very soon. So anyway, appreciate you watching. Thank you.